of Texarkana, Arkansas. All right. So he's going to just talk to us today about Texarkana in general and anything that he wants to bring up. So, what new projects are we working on?
We have a lot going on. One of the biggest things that we just went through in this process, this being January, is we just went through our process of passing our 2022 budget. So included in that budget is a lot of things. It's our city has done well over the last couple of years, and we've been able to take some of that money and reinvest it mainly into public works and into police and fire, which is something that all of our citizens are very interested in, is making sure that we have adequate fire protection and certainly adequate police protection. But everybody always has a concern with roads, and you never will ever have enough money to fix every street and every road that you have. But as long as we can keep whittling it away with our capital improvement money, that's something has really been a burden for our city that we're trying to lift in fixing some of these streets. So that certainly is in there. One of the big projects that we have going on right now is certainly the airport. The expansion of the airport is very important. We'll talk in a second about economic development, but the airport is certainly a big vital role and a key in all of you guys that are going to be getting out of school, coming back, and hopefully coming back to Texarkana. If you go to college or not go to college, you would stay here and have a job, and a good wage job. And economic development is a big key of that in creating opportunities and employment for people. And the airport certainly helps us do that. We have a very good airport director that knows the ins and outs of running the airport. And we have this big expansion that's going to be $36 million when it's complete. It's supposed to be complete hopefully by the year 2024. It's going in phases. One of the big things that we have is that opens up economic opportunity for more vendors to locate at the airport. And it certainly will open the door for more passengers to fly in and out of Texarkana. We are, and they did announce, and this will take place in February, we have our second carrier coming into the airport, which is a flight to Houston. It'll start the first weekend of February. So we not only will have American Airlines going to Dallas Fort Worth area, the Fort Worth airport, then we will have a flight to Houston, and so that is, we're interested to see how that picks up. They're advertising for that right now, so that within itself will boost that. Back in the day, I've been here so long. Back in the day, we had Delta and American Airlines both out at the airport. So we're used a grant that the airport was able to get to secure a second carrier. So we're hoping that that will help boost our airport. We're working on the expanding of the runway, which everybody knows now, even through some lessons we've learned through the pandemic, that cargo and packages and things like that are the wave of the future. A lot of people shopping from home. You probably get things delivered to your house. And so we've got to make sure that we're ready for that economic boom that would take place, in my opinion, when you can accept FedEx flights, UPS, things like that. We already have a FedEx center here, a less than a truckload package center here in town. So we've got a lot of things working for us in that direction to really boost our local economy here with the airport.
So, like with the airport, we wanting to make it more of like a national airport in a way where we're flying more places in the country?
I don't know that we will do that. I think that certainly would be something on down the road you could look at. One of the things that's always been considered, and we don't have the airport count to really suffice doing this, but one of naturally the biggest legs around here are Charlotte, North Carolina, Atlanta. And I'm not saying that we wouldn't ever try to accept that, but that's all based on those air providers deciding on where they want to go. And I don't know that we could generate that type of passenger load to be able to do that here. But what we can do is concentrate on taking care of all of our local radius areas, 75 to 100 miles that would want to come here and fly out of here instead of going to Dallas, Fort Worth, or Little Rock, or even Shreveport. Shreveport now with I-49 is 50 minutes to the airport. It's less than that, so we have to stay competitive with them as far as our flights go. But I think our focus will be more on the economic development and the job opportunities we can create with the airport and the airport property. Having a new terminal and having that passenger count, and maybe capitalizing on some of the transportation of packaging and shipping and things.
So you keep mentioning economic development. Can you define that and then tell us what benefits it'll have to our community?
Sure. When I first became mayor in 2019, and all the years that I've lived here in Texarkana, we've not had a lot to offer for economic development purposes. And economic development purposes is create job opportunities for people. That's what keeps people rooted in your community. You can't work when you get out of high school. Your mom and dad's not going to take care of you forever. So if you can't work and get a viable job that supports an income that will support your lifestyle, then naturally you're going to have to go somewhere else to do it. A lot of high tech jobs now. People are getting into computers. People are getting into TV. Those types of things. And when you can't offer those types of jobs, actually they're going to leave and go away, which means they won't buy a home here, they won't shop here. And so you need to do things economic development wise that will aid in those people wanting to stay here or even go to college and come back here and work. And so one of the things that we did in 2020 was we have to have property to secure economic development. So if you're a manufacturer or if you're a high-tech manufacturer, you've got to have property and you've got to have a city and a community that's willing to work with you for you to locate your business there. That's the way economic development works. They get property given to them. They get tax abatements, which means they get free taxes for a while. They get free utilities that are provided for those cities, those businesses, and they're called incentives. You have to offer an incentive package for somebody to even be interested in you. So one of the first things we concentrated on was property. And we were able in 2020 to work with the county and the city, work together. We purchased a piece of property out on 67 East, and we have 1,340 acres now of industrial development property. What does that mean for us? That means that in Miller County, Arkansas, we went from zero, which means we virtually had a couple of tracts of land that we could offer you that you might or might not be interested in, to now we're hoping by the end of this month to be a complete, what we refer to as a site certified industrial development piece of property, large tract of land. So now you can go after an example of this was given back when we were starting this process, even a car manufacturing. There are car manufacturing plants that are looking to expand. We have just about everything possible you could think of on that location, which means we have rail, we have highway, we're right next to I-30, we're right next to 49, so we have a number of things. We have an expansion to our airport coming. So we have a lot of things there that hopefully we can attract using not only the READY group here in town, which is our regional economic development group that are out looking for these factors. We could also use the state of Arkansas because we virtually have the largest piece of industrial property the whole state of Arkansas has to offer a potential industry that might want to locate. So we've done a lot of things in that area that hopefully by the time you get out of high school or if you like to go to college, you want to come back here, we'll have some businesses out there that you might be interested in working.
So, onto you more personally, is there any like long-term goals for you, like past like mayor maybe?
Not really. Not really. I have a lot of people ask me about that, but this is my first go around in political. I've been involved in Texarkana. I've been very involved in our community. My wife has been very involved in the community. I have a state championship ring with Arkansas High by volunteering on this TV show and doing the coaches show back in the day when I volunteered for 12 years to do the coaches show. I did radio for the football games. My three sons that are all grown now came through Arkansas High and graduated. Actually came back here to work. So have a lot of that. A lot of people thought, I needed to be mayor and asked me to run. And this is my first go in the political scene anyway. And I don't have any future aspirations to do anything any different right now. I have another year left on this term, so I'm starting my fourth year. My last of 4 years, I'll have to decide sometime this summer to run again. We have a lot of irons in the fire. That's one of the things I keep looking at is we have a lot of projects that we've started since I've been mayor, a lot of things that we have changed, the ways that we're approaching business, the way that we're approaching our community. There's a part of me that says I want to keep that going. Another part of me is, I have 4 grandkids and, this takes a lot of time sometimes. We have a lot of meetings and We're going to have a very busy year. We're in the process right now of updating what we refer to as a comprehensive plan. We've not had a comprehensive plan since 1988, and that's all the way down to what we refer to as zoning, and making it easier for people to do the things they want to do here in our community, and what our long-range plans and goals are, even for the property that we just talked about, for the airport. So we're working on that. That's going to take a lot of meetings, so we'll just have to kind of see how the year.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor Brown. And we are going to cut to a commercial break, but it was great talking to you,
Thank
and I
you.
cannot wait to see what these new projects in the airport bring to the community.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you.